Hello and welcome to Conversation P.A.C.E. I'm your host, Coach Nicole Rodriguez. Today's guest is the one and only runner and professional actress. Ingrid Walters. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, I want to congratulate you on your amazing marathon time in LA and also in Chicago. Mm-hmm. In 2018, your time for the Chicago Marathon was 2:52.
Right.
Oh my God. Right. Unbelievable. But then you came and ran the LA Marathon with a 2:48. Oh my goodness. So how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. The only thing that hurt were my quads, because there's a lot of downhill, there's a lot of hills, and so the downhills, I didn't really practice downhill running, and that's what hurt.
That is important.
That's what hurt.
Yeah, that's important.
But that was it. That was it. So
okay.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I am from Southern California. And so let me back up. I actually was born in New York. I'm not from New York. I was not raised in New York, but my dad was a Marine. So we lived in Long Island. So I was born in Manhasset. But I don't say that because everyone always asks me about it, and I have no idea, I have no clue. So I'm Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently you're a swimmer.
Yes, that's how I started. I started swimming when I was 6. I started competing when I was 6 years old, and I don't even remember learning how to swim. But my dad, he was a captain in the Marine Corps, and he always taught rescue diving to his Marines, and he just thought that before we could crawl, we should know how to swim. And so my sister and my brother, we all were swimmers, and I was the one that kept going through college, and my sister swam through high school and club swimming, and my brother stopped when he found football. So,
and you swam competitively?
Yeah, I swam competitively for 15 years.
When did you leave swimming, the world of swimming, for the world of running? When did this happen?
I left swimming in the middle of swim practice at UCLA, and every time I see my swim coach, we laugh about it, but we were doing this ridiculous set of 15 500s, and if anybody's a swimmer, they know how ridiculous that is. I mean, how long, and it's hard. And I just was like, I'm done. It was my second year at UCLA, and I was done. And she asked me if I was okay. I said, no, I'm done. And she was so sweet. And she said, if you ever want to come back, if you just want to take a break, you can always come back. But I knew I wasn't ever going to come back. So, but I was lifeguarding at the beach. So I was still swimming. So it was, but swimming like that now. And I took a couple of years off to do nothing. Nothing, just because I needed to know. I didn't even know what I wanted to do with my life, let alone what I wanted to do, like exercise-wise. So I did run a marathon, though, in 1992. I ran the LA Marathon, which was an old course on a whim. It was more of a dare with a month of training, which was not smart, and I think I ran it in 4 hours, a little over 4 hours, and wow. I never ran again for about 10, 15 years. I was like, I'm never doing that again. Why would anybody want to do that again? And then that's when I started to kind of chip away at, okay, well, maybe I'll try it again. And when I turned 40, that's when I was like, let me see what can happen if I do it for time. And then I joined the Janes Elite Racing, and I would have never in a million years thought that I would actually get faster. I just thought the closer I got to 3 hours, I was like, oh my gosh, if I break 3 hours, this would be great. And I did. But it took me 5 years to do it because I just could not do it. And then I finally did it in Chicago 2014. I ran 2:54.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the following year, I had booked a job, so I couldn't run it again. I couldn't run it. And then 2018, that's when I kind of was on a different training schedule, and it was just, my times kept getting faster. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens now. And then that's when I ran 2:52. And then my coach, Blue, who's running to Vegas right now, he was like, I'm going to change your whole workout plan. So I was running more longer distances and like 5K intervals and 1K intervals and 3K intervals within like a 20-mile workout. And so my times would get faster. I know I was doing 100-mile weeks, 3 workouts a week, and my recovery days were about 14 miles, at like 8-minute pace, just slow. And I was hitting these times that I had never hit before. And so he was like, okay, I think we're good. I think we're onto something here, because he was doing it too. So it wasn't, he changed everybody's workout plan, and now it's the result of it. Everyone's, seeing.
So it worked for him.
It worked for him. It's working for him.
So he experimented on you guys. I love those types of coaches.
He's amazing. He's a self-made runner, and we were running anaerobically a lot. So this past training cycle was more aerobic, and I was doing times I had never even done in a workout before. We were used to doing just our long run. They were long, but they weren't fast.
What's long? Just in case people.
Okay.
We have
the
people here in the audience
we did
who need to know.
The longest workout in one run we did was 28 miles.
Wow.
Every Saturday we run a marathon. Like it's that's just how it is. Every Saturday, it's either we run between 22 and 31 miles. And if we're up to 31, it's a double. And so we'll do 15 in the morning, 15 and a half in the morning, 15 and a half at night. But they're both workouts. So and it works.
You're basically an ultra marathoner.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And that high mileage works for me. And because I know for myself, I need to know that when I go into a race, it's like nothing. When I get to mile 20, then I'm just at mile 20. It's not, like, oh my God, I'm struggling. I really, really, really made a point to train so that I didn't feel like I was running a marathon. And that's what works for me. And I'm sticking to it. I've never had more fun leading up to a race than this time around.
Wow.
It was, I felt like, I was telling my friend, they're like, what did you do the night before? I said, you don't know what I did? I went to Sephora. I was like, I'm going to get some blush. I'm going to get some waterproof mascara. And because I wanted a decent marathon photo.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm like, you know what? And I took my mind off of the race. I couldn't even sleep the night before because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
I had absolutely no idea that was going to happen.
So you're an actor. And how do you fit all of this, like all the training, because this is a lot of training.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I have a dog business. So I have, but every minute counts. And so, sometimes we'll run at 5 o'clock in the morning, but that you just have to do that. You know what I mean? And I've never complained about it because I don't have to do it. So I just want to do it. And I know that if I put in the work, I'm going to get the results. And so it just puts me on a schedule. And with auditions, it's the same thing. I have to run before an audition because I have to sweat and get it all out. And that just makes me feel better before I go into a room. So I don't mind running in the morning early. I actually prefer it. We ran at 4 o'clock yesterday morning. So
Whoa.
Yeah, we ran at 4 o'clock yesterday morning, and that was the earliest we've ever run. But it's nice to be done by 6 a.m. You hit a wall a little bit towards the end of the day, but it's take a power nap and keep going.
So do you run with a group?
I do.
Early morning runs.
I am a member of the Janes Elite Racing team, and we have our morning crew that we meet every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, and some of us run different we all run different distances. Like some of us do marathons. We do anything from the track to the marathon. So and we have some of the fastest masters women in the country. We just had a woman, Kirsten, break the American record in the 5K. And these are women that, while I was swimming, they were running. That's how long they've been running. So they, scholarship athletes, Olympic trial qualifiers. Tanya Fisher, the co-founder, went to Olympic trials in 1996 and placed top 8 in the 5,000. So, and they're still running. And they're running fast.
Yeah,
and they've got families and kids, and we just all fit it in, and we don't really complain about it. Everyone just kind of like, okay, this is when we're going to run. Who wants to join? We'll send out a text, and it's just nice to know that you've got some people to run with in the morning.
So your finishing time for the LA Marathon was close to a qualifying time for the Olympics.
3 minutes.
How did that make you feel?
Like I said, I wasn't I would have been happy with 250, and I knew I was on pace to run under that at my half marathon, because I PR'd in my half, which it was weird. So I knew that even if I ran 5 minutes slower, I would still run 250. So I didn't have I wasn't even thinking anything, and I just kept on the pace. And next thing you know, the finish line is on this really awesome street in Santa Monica called Ocean, and it's just lined with people, and I saw the clock and it said 2:46 high. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I just ran my leg. I mean, I just, you get to the point sometimes your legs just can't run they just can't move any faster. But I tried, and I tried to actually break 2:48. And I just, barely did it. So.
Well, I was tracking you for the LA Marathon. You were the only person I was tracking for this marathon. It looked like you went out a little fast.
I totally went out fast,
And then you caught yourself. Yeah. You're like, okay, wait a minute. Like, I was thinking when I saw that. Yeah, now that I know that there's hills.
I know exactly where they are.
It all makes sense.
So when you saw my time drop, I was most likely Santa Monica Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard, or, because there's some doozies in there. And then the last 2 miles are downhill, but getting there is a pain. Like that's where for the 5 years that was trying to break 3, that's where I would bonk every time. And now it was fine, but it still is. Like,
you were prepared for it.
I was totally prepared for it, and they changed the course a couple of years ago towards the end. So because they had this hill, which right before. It was like mile 23, and it was just ugly. It was, everybody died on that hill. It didn't matter who you were. So they took it out. But it's still that those last 6 miles. Yeah.
Well, the tracker app lost you.
Yeah.
I panicked.
So did my dad.
People were asking me
so did my
because
friends. Yeah.
I was posting updates on Facebook, and people were asking me, where is she?
Right.
Because now that I'm updating and constantly updating watch Ingrid Walters, come on everybody, track her. And now I had all these people tracking you, and then
my friend said the same thing. She's like, I panicked. I panicked because she was going to hand me a water bottle or from some fuel, and she was like, I couldn't find you, and I didn't know if you were going to be there. So, yeah.
It was the tracker.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about the acting. Amistad? Was that you?
Yes.
That was actually you?
I fell over on the boat.
You fell over on the boat?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the ocean. It wasn't, I didn't fall on a trampoline. It was
really?
Oh yeah. We were out where there's these barges. It's a port in Long Beach or San Pedro, and we were on this huge barge, and we're in the middle of the ocean. I was in the boat, and he was like, okay, you ready? Like, yeah, I'm ready. But like I said, I'm a swimmer, so it wasn't a big deal to me. I mean, it was a little scary just because I was falling backwards.
Then you had a baby in your
I had a baby in my hand, but I mean, I had a doll, but it was a little nerve-wracking, a little bit, just because I wanted to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal to me. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. And then when I looked down, I was like, okay, that's pretty far down. But I'm going in the water, so it's not like, you know. Actually, I was supposed to do another
part. How many
part.
black people really swim?
That was the call, actually. That's the call that went out. And my friend who's a stunt coordinator called me. He knew I was a lifeguard and a swimmer, and so he's like, Ingrid, they need black people who can swim for Amistad. And he told me the scene, and it wasn't originally that scene. It was the scene where we're all chained together on the boat, and everyone's dragged into the water and drown. And it was that scene because we had to literally be pulled by a boat. We were pulled by a boat and we had to stay underwater, and everyone had a scuba diver because we couldn't come back up. And
you had chains on.
Yeah. Oh, so we all had air. And so it was a really dangerous scene to shoot. And the night before, there was some discrepancies with a part that some girl was supposed to do, and so the part came up, and I got a phone call, and they said, hey, they want all the girls to get there an hour early, and like, you're an actor, right? And I was like, yeah, because they thought I was a stunt woman because that was a stunt. That was a stunt with the boat. And so I was like, yeah, I am. And when we got there, there was Debbie Allen and Steven Spielberg, and I kind of saw him point to me, and I went over, and that was that. And he basically told me what I was going to do. And then when we shot it, after we shot it, because we only did like 4 takes, and after we shot it, he was like, you know what, I thought of something else. I thought of another scene. It would make more sense. He said, can you come back again next week? And I said, yes, I can. And and it was the scene underneath the boat where we're all chained together, and I have another daughter, and I'm pulling the baby up and giving him to Jaimin, and it all made it in the movie. So it was it was one of the more memorable parts that I've had.
Yes, and another show.
Yes.
Let's talk about Baywatch. We have to talk about Baywatch.
I love talking about Baywatch.
Okay, how did that come about?
Because I was a real lifeguard.
Because you were a real lifeguard.
Yeah, I was a real lifeguard, and I was invited to go to South Africa because they were shooting a show in South Africa. The thing about what lifeguarding a lot of people don't know is that, I mean, it's a lifestyle, and 2, there's competitions all over the world. And so every 2 years, there's a competition in some part of the world, and it's huge. And so there's 22 teams from all over the world that come and compete, and Baywatch wanted to shoot a show around the competition just to show people that they're the other side to it, and the other kind of, you could travel, and I mean, it's really fun, and all different countries, their take on lifeguarding, and a lot of it's volunteer. It was really great. So I got a phone call, and they said, hey, are you still swimming? And I said, yes. They're like, do you want to go to South Africa and shoot, and compete? We were competing now. So Baywatch sponsored the U.S. team to go to South Africa, and that's where I met Greg Bonin, who's also a lifeguard, which a lot of people don't know. He's been probably a lifeguard for almost 50 years now, and he created the show in his lifeguard tower. So and that's when I met him, and he said, we don't have any black lifeguards. After this, just come back, let's meet, you can audition, But I didn't get it. Tracy got it. Tracy Bingham got it. And so, it's the nature of the show.
Can she swim?
Yeah.
She can?
They all can, actually. They all could. They all could. But I came back the next year, and he hired me. I did 13 episodes. So.
Nice.
And I basically played myself.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Because I had been lifeguarding for, maybe 10 years, little less than 10 years up till then. And so
So you're very comfortable in a bikini.
Yes.
I wish I could say the
Yes.
same.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a one piece. You might as well have been a bikini because it was very tiny.
Yes.
It was very, very small.
The cuts were way, girl, you could
like
see.
80s cut, French cut, but it was really high. So you really had to watch what you ate and watch what
Yeah, you
you
had
really
to be
did.
fit.
You had to. I mean, it was, if you can't wear the bathing suit, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even, you know, even extras, even like everyone, you know, it's a, that's the show. Yeah. Really.
Right.
You know?
Now there's a part in, I believe it was a movie that you played, and it was a character. She had some challenges.
Oh yes, that yeah.
Now meeting you in person, I'm like you really had to practice that because I don't want to say crackhead, but you were a crackhead.
I was, yeah. And I got the photo on my agent has the photo, and I was like, just use it. If you have to use it, use it.
How did that go about?
It was my friend wrote it, and and he asked me to do it, and I wanted something like that on my reel, and I wanted people to know that I can do different things. It's not just, you know, sometimes you can get stigmatized by having just done Baywatch or
the pretty girl
you know
role.
what I mean? Like it's So I wanted to have as much diverse parts on my reel that I could have. So I'm really glad that it's there, because it was fun. It was actually really fun because it, you know, made me think about just that world and, you know, what people would go through.
Did you have to go research, like go into the hood and go into a crack house or something?
I think it was. I was just mostly. No, I feel like I know who she was, and you know the struggles and what you would. You know, you never know what you would do if you were in the situation. You could say, "Well, I can't believe that, you know, she would do that to her daughter." Well, a lot of people do that. A lot of, you know, you don't know what you do when you're strung out.
What was your favorite movie that you were in? What's your favorite?
It probably was. I think it was Amistad. Higher Learning was the first part that I'd ever gotten, and so that was fun just because it was the first big thing that I did. But I had been doing commercials as well, so I was still used to being in front of the camera, but that's a whole different ball game, commercials. So yeah, it was probably Amistad, and I did a play at this really big theater in Westwood called the Geffen Playhouse, and I understudied a girl, and she got sick opening night, and I thought I was going to have to go on, but I went on the next night, and I didn't know until I got there, and so that was probably, it's a 3-hour play.
Wow.
And there's 3 people in it, so
pressure.
Yeah, it was actually 4, but it was one of probably my best experiences, just being under that pressure and being with the other actors, because I didn't come from the theater. Right. You know what I mean? And everybody was telling me, oh, no one's ever going to give up a show, just go there and get paid, da 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 da. And I was like, I'm going to learn my lines. I'm going to learn all of them. And I did. And sure enough, the inevitable happened, because I didn't think she would, I thought she was going to be okay. And then, yeah, so it was nice. It was fun. Okay. Yeah, it was fun. And
exciting. So are you in New York because you have an audition?
No, I'm here because I wanted to come see your show. Do your show.
You just
I did. I know. I'm not kidding. I'm not.
Oh my God!
I really did.
I'm honored to have you here.
Thank
on
you.
The show.
No, it's great. I watch what you do, and it looks like fun.
Thank you. Before we go, I do want to talk about nutrition.
Yeah. I'm not real nitpicky about what I eat, just because we're running so much that I have to.
I need the energy.
I've done the not eating and running and trying to run, and yeah, you're thinner, but you're slower. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to be slower, and so I'd rather be healthy and be able to eat and improve than not eat and just be thin and not fast. So I eat carbs.
Okay, good to know. So I'm on the right track.
Yeah, I eat carbs. I mean, I love them.
carbs.
I love them too.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Is there anything else you want to say before we, like, promote or something?
Age is just a number. There's no, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would, one, be sitting here, and two, be talking about my running at 47 years old, I would have thought you were crazy. Or if I was here, it would have been for running a 3-hour marathon, not running a 2:48 marathon at 47. So, I embrace it and do the little things that help. You know what I mean? Like the strength training and getting a good coach and, eating right and recovering correctly. All that stuff pays off. It does. And, you surprise yourself.
Notes taken. I've learned so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you for letting us bring you up to speed at Conversation Pace.